Hello everybody, it's Heidi. So today I thought I would do something a little different than my usual. I've never done a color and chat, believe it or not, for a couple of different reasons. For one, I'm kind of shy, and for the other, I've always struggled with my camera setup and knowing how to get what I'm going for, what I'm wanting to show you. So I tried setting my, I have a gooseneck clamp that I put my camera on for filming usually, and I tried to set it up, but it just, I can't get it to show, you know. I want to like move as my pencil moves and so you can see what I'm doing, and I can never get it to work with that. So I'm holding my camera in my left hand and I'm gonna try and talk and hold this and color at the same time. So I'm not sure that's all gonna happen, but I'm gonna try. Let's see. So I am working on right now Angel of Starlight by Jasmine Becket-Griffith. It's in her first book. I'm not gonna show the cover because it's too much of a pain to arrange right now. But it's her first book. I have done one page in here. This is my second page. And I've got, so I've done the base. I did that this morning. I worked on, oops, get my finger out of the frame. I did the beginnings of the face last night, and this is just like rough beginnings. So that's what I've got so far. And then this morning I did a base of Neocolor 2 on everything else. The stars are pencil. I'm using Castle Art pencils for this. I may have to go to another pencil because these aren't the most pigmented ever, but so far they're working okay. So this morning as I was working on this, I was thinking maybe I should try and do a color and chat while I'm coloring, because this is just like sort of a slow meditative process for me, so maybe I could manage it. We'll see. I've got my iPad here. I'll just show you with her original painting on it that I'm kind of referring to. I'm not trying to totally duplicate the painting. I'm just kind of going by her color scheme and using it as a rough guide, I guess. I've done that in the past and really enjoyed it. I went over everything, trying to achieve like exactly what I tried to match, exactly what she had done in her painting. Of course you can't do that, but I tried to do my best. And that was really fun. But this time I've kind of loosened up in that, I guess. Kind of just feeling more comfortable in you know, being inspired by the original, but yet not restricted to every single paint stroke and color. And yeah, it's more fun this way. It's more relaxed. So I'm just slowly working on the hair. Whoop. I'm not doing as careful job as I usually would because it's a little challenging looking through the camera and coloring at the same time. Yeah, it's very weird. So how do you guys do it? If you have a channel and you do color chats or like film yourself coloring like this, how do you do it? Let me know if you have any thoughts about this, any advice. I know some people have, you know, fancier cameras. They don't just use their phone, and they have, you know, like a fancy tripod and everything with a separate screen where you can see what is going on. But I don't know if I'm ready to do that, to you know, invest in an expensive camera and everything. I feel like the phone is an expensive camera already. I just need to figure out I hope I've been filming myself coloring. I'm trying to do, this is a little challenging, so maybe it'll be entertaining if nothing else, watching me struggle through this. Yeah, so let me know if you have any thoughts on that, on this, how I can improve this process. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I was going to talk about a whole variety of things. I've got a list and everything next to me. But so far, just trying to say basic words and do this at the same time is proving challenging. I am not a multitasker. And I keep closing out of the picture to my right. Oh, also I apologize if there's a lot of sound. I just heard this loud motorcycle. And okay, so right now I'm just kind of skipping all over the place. I'm looking at the picture next to me. I would show you the original, but I think I might have problems with copyright if I did that, and I don't want to have any issues come up with that. So I'm kind of skipping all over. I'm looking to see where the purple shows up in the hair and trying to put that in. Yeah, so she's got this pale blue hair with dark blue streaks. The streaks that I have so far are not nearly as dark as they're going to be. They're going to be more like this dark blue in her tights. But this is just the first draft, I guess, the first layer. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Sorry. Oh my god, this is hard. I was going to, anyway, yeah, my first coloring chat. I've never done this before. I know I've told you guys, you know, information about me here and there over the years, just in asides and stuff, but I haven't really dedicated any videos to talking about myself or talking about, you know, my life or coloring in more depth. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. This is tough. What I need to do here is figure out a way that I can look directly at the paper and also have the camera focusing on what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to feel just a little bit more coordinated at this. Slightly more coordinated. Okay, so color and chat. I have a whole list, as I said, I think, of topics next to me. And the first thing was about me. So, my name is Heidi. If you didn't already know, I live in Seattle, Washington, USA, with my husband and our cat, Callie. And I'm not going to say what my husband's name is. I want to keep myself slightly anonymous, maybe. And we live in a very small apartment. So, and that, the reason I mention that is because it's, when it comes to coloring, it's like always a big challenge, because I don't have a ton of room for storing things, like a large collection of coloring books and so on. Sorry, trying to keep this steady. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, that, what else about me? I work from home. I've been working from home for about 3 years, since the beginning of the pandemic, as many others out there are doing. I work as an editor and a proofreader for, I'm not going to say exactly what I do, like what company it is, but generally speaking, it's sort of like technical-ish editing. So, you know, like sometimes when I say that to people, like I'm an editor at a book publishing company, people get excited and they're like, oh, that sounds so fun. And I have to say, well, you know, I'm not doing, oh, sorry. See, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get distracted while I'm talking about something and not realize that I'm not filming myself. So I hope you guys are being patient, and thank you. Yeah, anyway, when I tell people that, they say, oh, that sounds so exciting. And I have to say, but really it's not that exciting. It's like the content is pretty dry, although I do like the process a lot. I like the act of proofreading quite a bit. I do a lot of that in my job, and I like that a lot. I have a background in English, which you might guess, you know, having that for a profession. So, you know, I've spent a ton of time reading in my life, and so I read all day, you know, that's what I do. Yeah, anyway, that is what I do for a living. It gets a little quiet and lonely, to be honest, like working from home. I like a lot of aspects of it. It's great. I don't have to commute anymore on the bus. I used to commute a long, probably 2 hours a day. And now that is gone, thank goodness. But it gets a little lonely otherwise. sometimes. I do enjoy my solitude. Yeah, so that was, oh, look, we're 15 minutes in and I'm still talking about the first bullet point that I had. That's okay. I guess that's good. It's like, maybe I do have things to talk about. What else do I need to work on here? I wish I could show you the picture so you could get a sense of what I'm working against. If you want to see what the original is, you can go to strangelings.com and look up. You can search for Angel of Starlight. Strangeling.com I think it's Strangeling. It might be Strangelings with an S. It's Jasmine Becket-Griffith's website, like her shop and everything. She's got a lot on there, but she has most of her, if not all of her paintings. So you can see what the original looks like. So in case you're curious, let's see, what was I saying? Oh yeah, my second bullet point was how long I've been coloring. You know, my history with this thing that we all love to do so much. So I've been coloring since about, I guess, 2017. And before that, I was doing a lot of other crafts, and I still do, like art and crafts. I've always been like kind of artsy craftsy, and I won't go into that whole topic too much, but let's move up to this area over here. Yeah, I think, let's see, how did it happen? I was in Joanne Fabrics. I mean, I had been aware of the whole coloring phenomenon, you know, with Joanna Basford and, you know, Secret Garden. I saw that everywhere, but I didn't really think about doing it myself at first. I just kind of noticed that all of a sudden there were coloring books everywhere I looked. And, you know, like, oh, there's this thing going on. There's this phenomenon happening. But didn't really think about doing it. And then so it was like, maybe that was in like 2015, 2016. That's when everything kind of took off, right? And then around 2017, I think I was at a point in whatever I was doing at the time, maybe it was polymer clay, that I was ready for something different, something new. That's kind of what I tend to do with my crafts, is I always like to try new things, and so I was in Joanne Fabrics, like looking for something else, and I remember seeing Millie Murata's Curious Creatures on one of the shelves. So I was looking through the books, and I just thought that it looked so fun, you know? And I was like, maybe, whoops, sorry. trying to get into an angle here where I can work on this and film it at the same time. Yeah, so I just remember thinking that looks like a really fun thing to try. So I picked that book up, and that was my first book. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think that was my very first coloring book, Millie Murata's Curious Creatures. And then I'm trying to remember if I had, that looks pretty okay just for a start. Need some purple here, maybe. Trying to remember if I had colored pencils at that time, or maybe I went to the store and got some colored pencils. I remember just buying some Prismacolors open stock. And working on the very first page in that book, like flying fish. And yeah, it was really fun. It was really exciting. I found it to be just exciting to work with color in a different way, you know, than doing polymer clay and other things. I had done, you know, other things too. Prior to that, I did a lot of yarn crafts and various things. Let's see, where do I want to go next here? So, yeah, that was my first book, and I didn't really even know that it was it didn't occur to me that to look on YouTube at first. But then when I did, of course, it was like a brain explosion. as happens to all of us, I'm sure, at first. And then after that, it was just all downhill or uphill. I started buying, let's see if I can remember what I got next. I went to a nice bookstore near me to see what I could find. And I got Hannah Carlson's, oh, here comes Callie. Oh, that's my kitty. She's blocking my light now. I got Hannah Carlson's. Oh, now she's gonna sit on my iPad. Okay, you wanna say hi, Kelly? Kelly. That's Kelly. Oh no, I don't have my picture to refer to now. She's sitting on it. And she closed out the picture. Okay, now she's jumped to a different place, so I can get my picture back. What was I doing? I don't remember where I was. Oh, so yeah, I got Hannah Carlson's Magical Dawn Artist Edition. That was what they had in the store, and they also had the Joanna Basford's Lost Ocean. And I got the artist edition of Lost Ocean. I got those. So those were some of my first coloring books. And I just had a few to start with, and I worked in those quite a bit. And just slowly started getting more supplies. I have a Blick art supplies near me. So I would go there quite a bit and buy things for coloring, and yeah, and then a couple years later, I guess it was, or a few years later, after I had gotten really into YouTube and watching all these different coloring channels, it occurred to me to try one of my own. And yeah, so then I started my channel, and so far it's been a few years, but I feel like I'm just starting, honestly, because I haven't done, this is my first color and chat ever. I'm actually enjoying this quite a lot, the color and chat, that is. I just need to figure out how to do it better. But yeah, so far I've only done finished pages and, collection, especially at the beginning, finished pages compilation, like everything I've colored, my coloring book collection. I did that, and then hauls, of course, because I buy a lot of coloring books, as many of you do also, I'm sure. And I have it's just so much fun. Like, half of the fun is buying new coloring books, right? And dreaming about all those things you're gonna do in them. But finding the time to work in everything is the challenge. And for me, having all these other crafts that I enjoy, it's hard too, because I feel like sometimes I feel pulled in many different directions. I want to keep coloring so I have things to show at the end of the months, but sometimes I feel like doing other stuff instead, and yeah, I should just let myself do it. So yeah, I did that this summer. I took a kind of a break, and but it makes me, I don't know, I don't like leaving the channel alone like that without any videos going up. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling, I feel like now. I had my bullet points and I'm neglecting them. Let's see, so my bullet points. Yeah, so I talked a little bit about that, my history of coloring. And then my next, number 3 on my list says, what kind of colorist I am. And I have in parentheses, keep it simple person. So I should explain what I mean by keep it simple, because like the colorings themselves aren't always simple. That's not really what I mean by that. So I guess what I mean by that is I feel psychologically I feel like it is psychologically necessary for me to keep it simple in some respects. Like, I can only work on one coloring at a time, because if I work on more than one thing, I get overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm not making any progress on any one thing. I'm just always going back and forth between things, different pages, and that I feel really frustrated with that. So far, that is me. I've tried to do, have different projects going, different pages going at the same time, and it just never works for me. Oh, here's an area down here I haven't really worked with. Let's see. So, yeah, I do one page at a time. I finish what I start almost always, like 99% of the time, because I hate having whips. I really hate having whips. I don't know why. I just can't stand it. I have sort of a theory, but I won't go into that today. Having to do with my mom and like an event that happened when I was like 4 or 5. Maybe I'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, so I need to finish what I start, one thing at a time. What else do I have on my list here? Oh, I can't color and watch something at the same time, which is, I guess, it's not really, that's not really part of keeping it simple. It's not like I don't want to do that. I just can't because I wear glasses and I need them to look at my computer or even something fairly close to me, and so I always have to be putting my glasses back on, taking them off, and it just ends up giving me a headache, so that doesn't work. I do listen to podcasts and listen to music sometimes when I'm coloring, but a lot of the time, like on something like this, I tend to just focus on what I'm doing. If it's a simple thing like I don't know, just like filling in spaces with alcohol markers or something like that, I would be more likely to listen to a podcast or something while I'm doing it. What else do I have on my list here? Okay, oh yeah, about keeping it simple. I do have an Instagram account, but I keep it private and I don't really post things on it. I kind of use it for chatting with people, like about buddy colors and things like that. I do have a Tumblr account where I upload like not everything, but almost everything I do, like finished coloring pages, but also like the other art that I do, and sometimes knitting and crochet and like, you know, just all the different things, because I wanted to have one place for everything, and I wanted it to have the layout that I wanted, which I like about Tumblr rather than Instagram. So that's why I'm on Tumblr for that instead of Instagram. It's because like it's a nice blog. You know, they have different templates and stuff so you can have it look just the way you want. And yeah, so I do that. So having all of these different social media accounts like gets overwhelming for me, so I try to keep it simple in that way. It's looking pretty good so far. Let's put a little down here. I should probably sharpen this pencil, but I'm not gonna. It's like an additional thing that I need to stop and do, and I'm not gonna do that. What else is on my list? Oh, yeah, I already mentioned addicted to buying coloring books and supplies. Yeah, I'm curious to see, what do you guys think about that, like in your own life, in your own coloring. Like, how do you feel? Do you guys have huge collections, and how do you feel about it? I know people have different thoughts. I'm curious to see what other people do. I'm torn. I'm always torn. You know, part of me really loves it. Like, I really love collecting. You know, I get so excited about all the new things coming out, all the book, and not even new, like all the old books that I've never seen before that I, you know, see on people's hauls and things. And then I want those, and there's so many cool artists out there, and I just want to try everything. But it seems like I need to slow down my collecting because I'm gonna run out of room. And then what? I don't want to have to de-stash. Anyway, that's something that I'm always thinking about, kind of trying to weigh in my mind. Oh, a little spider is visiting me. Oh, he's cute. He's teeny. I'm not gonna kill him. I don't wanna, he's harmless, small and harmless. Let's just leave him there. Oh, maybe I'll blow him off. Okay, sorry. Oh, where is he going to go? I don't know. Anyway, okay, back to the topic at hand. Yeah, so coloring books and supplies. I'm kind of maxed out on my supplies. I have so many supplies at this point. And I really have, you know, everything that I need. And more. So I try to be more judicious these days about what I buy as far as supplies. It's kind of tough sometimes, especially pencils. Well, not as bad, I don't know. It's tough in general, I guess. Yes, so let me know what you guys think and what you do about that. If I had a bigger space, it probably wouldn't be as much of an issue. Let's see, what else is on my list here? Oh yeah, I was thinking this morning about, like, okay, this is my theory. I don't know if it relates to anything in the real world or if it's just me. That some people like the beginning of the process of coloring a page, and some people like the end of the process better. I mean, I know that people get excited about pages, like they see them, they have all these ideas in their head about what they want to do with the page, and they get started, and then they get busy with something else, or, you know, don't feel like it after a while, or I'm not sure. And then they come back to it, but it's the beginning of the process that they get excited about. Whereas I was thinking, and, you know, for me, the beginning of the process is actually a little bit nerve-wracking and challenging, because a lot of the time I don't have an idea of what I want to do specifically, you know, the colors I want to use, like throughout, like all of the colors. I might have an idea about certain parts of the picture, but I don't have like an overarching like vision of it in my head to begin with. And so starting out is kind of like flying blind, and I just kind of feel it out as I go most of the time. Start with areas that I know I want to be a certain way, and then it just kind of like grows from there. And then towards the end of the process, I start getting really into it because, you know, once all the colors, like for example, this page, now that I've got all the base layers down, it's just a process of going over and doing the pencil work and refining and everything. And that part I really enjoy. But if I were figuring out what to do with everything on the page, that part is a little bit more scary for me. Or I just feel a little bit more uneasy. I don't really like start to love it until I get, you know, a good way into the picture. So, do you know what I'm saying? Is this just me, or do other people feel this way too? I'm curious to know. Let's see. So we're at 40 minutes, 41. Yeah. And the last thing on my list, I might as well go through all my bullet points as long as I'm doing this. I hope you're enjoying watching me do this. By the way, I hope this isn't totally boring. The last thing on my list is I tend to, oh yeah, like planning versus kind of winging it. Oh, I suppose that also falls under keeping it simple. Like for me, I don't plan my coloring out in advance. I wish I could. Like, it would be nice. I've tried to do that before and it didn't really, I always end up deviating from it. I usually just go with what I feel like doing, like, because I do finish one thing at a time. I usually just like pick something, you know, what do I feel like doing next? Or sometimes I use a random number generator and will, like, you know, have various schemes of how I figure out what book to pick based on that. And that works sometimes if I have no idea what I want to do next. Yeah, there are other things you can do, like using prompts. I've seen a lot of people do that. That seems like a really good idea too. Like picking prompts and challenges for themselves. I know the Norwegian colorist does that. That seems like a cool idea. And some people follow, you know, like follow like Olga Rani and do I don't know what she calls it, but where you're looking for a specific object. That can also be a good way to do it, to deal with that. Anyway, okay, so we're nearing 45 minutes. I've been talking. I can't believe I've been talking this whole time. Yeah, so made some progress here. I think it's looking a little bit better. So yeah, thanks everybody. That was fun. Maybe I'll do another one of these color and chat sometime. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave me any comments you have. If you enjoyed it, what you particularly liked about it, if you, I don't know, whatever comes to mind, I would love to hear it. So yeah, so I'll See you in the next video. Bye.